In preparation for the England-India series, I thought we could discuss some of the greatest hundreds that I've seen and what made them so special. In today's video, we'll go back to 2012 to Kevin Pietersen's 186 vs India in Mumbai and see why this is one of the modern day great hundreds. Kevin Pietersen was an exceptional batter, however had many controversies in his playing career, but nonetheless was one of those special players who could transcend conditions and make even great players batting with him look ordinary. Let's look at the context surrounding England cricket and KP at this time, and that just further adds to how good this innings was. Kevin Pietersen had recently been dropped and reintegrated into the side after not so flattering text messages were sent to the South African team about then captain Andrew Strauss. It had also been shown that Kevin Pietersen had been isolated from the team after a parody account mocking his style was allegedly supplied by inside information. Whilst KP was back, it was fair to say that maybe not all was 100% happy in the camp. Also, there must have been great pressure on KP to perform, given all that was done to include him. Additionally, he had a reputation that he could be got at against left arm spin, and between 2008 and 2009, out of 25 dismissals, 10 were against left arm spin. He even admitted that DRS meant he had to change his technique, as he could no longer plant his front foot down the track, as umpires started realising how many balls are hitting the stumps. His numbers against left arm spin at the end of his career show he cracked the code, or the issue was overhyped by media as he and other players suggested. But he was up against Pragyan Ojha, who was probably at his peak during this series and bowled really well. Furthermore, there was the added narrative of English players not playing spin well, and England were ajmaud in the UAE the year prior. Lastly, Kevin Pietersen acknowledged himself that he struggled in hot conditions and that he was, quote, a sweater. Earlier in the year, he scored a breathtaking 158 vs Sri Lanka and said afterwards that in the heat and humidity he thought, if I'm to score a ton here, I'm going to have to slog one in a session. So to do that in Sri Lanka on a slow pitch was great, but on a pitch that's turning and bouncing in Mumbai, it's extraordinary. In terms of the series, with India travelling so poorly during this period and having lost 4-0 in England in 2011, there was immense pressure on India to return the favour. India had won the first test convincingly, and many fans and pundits thought, here we go again. However, there was a slight bit of hope with a rearguard century in the second innings of that test match from Alistair Cook. But going into Mumbai, India had asked for turning pitches. With the dry surface produced and India batting first, it looked set up for 2-0. However, there were early signs that the pitch wasn't easy for batting, especially against Swan and Panesar. After Panesar bowled Tendulkar with the ball of the decade contender, curving in, pitching on leg and hitting the top of off. And who can forget the celebration? In no time, India had been reduced to 119 for 5, and Pujara then scored an excellent 100 with support from Ravi Ashwin to give India an above par total of 327. With the pitch starting to turn more and more, England got a solid start, aided by an on-the-wane Harbhajan Singh and a young Ashwin's inconsistency in line and length. But at 69 for 2, you had the feeling that the wickets of Cook and Pietersen held the key for India and could lead India to a sizable first innings lead. With Cook being well Cook and blunting the ball from one end, this is where KP came into his own. On a pitch where only 4 batsmen made over 30 and no one was close to matching a strike rate of 80, KP swept and drove spinners to all parts of the ground. Particularly memorable was a sweep against Pragyan Ojha. Bowled well outside off stump and turning, he swatted that away with ease. He was dismissed with a score at 382 for 6, and to further highlight how tough the pitch was, England were all out for 413. But the damage had already been done. Swan and Panesar ripped through India's star-studded lineup on a pitch firmly now in the bowler's favour, and the rest is history. To summarise, I haven't quite seen hitting like that in India, especially from a foreign player, and to do that with a series on the line, having the pressure from being reintegrated back into the team, to me makes this so special. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you think this is the best ton ever in India, let me know.